and welcome back to my channel. My name is Aliris and I am the creator and founder of Morning Tea Inspiration. And on this channel is where I share my entire candle making journey with you. So let's begin. Today I'm going to share one of my most simple recipes for making body soap using 4 main ingredients: olive oil, coconut oil, distilled water, and sodium hydroxide. I've added a few extra ingredients such as fragrance oil and mica for coloring and dried petals to put on the top just for aesthetic reasons to make it look pretty. So without any further ado, let's begin. So I kind of cheated today. I wanted to get straight to the basics without the extra fluff. So I pre-measured my ingredients. Okay, so it's not even afternoon yet, but I wanted to go ahead and get my lye solution started earlier in the day to let it cool slowly so it'll be ready at room temperature when I'm finally ready to mix the soap. When you combine lye and water, it has a chemical reaction that heats up, and you have to wait until it cools down before you can start processing in your butters and oils. This is what we call cold process for soap making. So right now it is 11:40 and I'm going to go ahead and prepare my lye solution, and I'll let it sit for a couple of hours while I finish doing other things throughout the day. Always remember, safety first. Gloves, long sleeves, something to cover your hair, goggles, and I'm actually gonna go ahead and put on my apron as well so I don't get anything on my clothes. Let's get started. I'm going to measure my lye and my distilled water in 2 separate containers. I'm going to measure them separately just in case I accidentally add too much of one and not enough of the other. I'm not wasting anything. So I'm going to measure my lye first. And for this recipe, I'm going to need 132.35 grams. So I place my measuring cup on the scale. I tare it to 0. I double check that my units are in grams. Now I'm going to measure out my distilled water. And since the lye and water solution heats up, to help speed up the cooling process, I keep my distilled water in the fridge. Place it on the scale, tare it to 0. And water, I'm going to need 198.5 grams. There we go. 198. That turned out perfect. Now when you mix your water and your lye, you always want to add the lye to the water. Never add the water to the lye. Now, even though right now I am here by myself. I'm going to place my lye solution in a very safe place. And I've actually got my countertop labeled lye solution do not drink, because if one of my children comes home, they will know, don't touch it, don't drink it, don't sniff it, don't do anything. So I'm gonna go ahead and let this sit, and I'll be back in a few hours and we'll get started on that soap. This recipe calls for 198 grams of water, 132 grams of sodium hydroxide, 950 grams of olive oil, 50 grams of coconut oil, and you can use 3 to 6% of fragrance oil. And I chose to max it up. I'm going to use 6% of fragrance oil. For this combination is going to be 60 grams of fragrance oil. So since everything is pre-mixed, safety first. You don't want hair in your soaps, and you don't want soap in your hair. Safety goggles. I like to use the safety goggles that have a protection barrier around the top and the side, because you don't want liquid soap in your eyes. And also my apron, because I don't want to get soap on my clothes either. And while I soap, I always wear long sleeves. So let me grab the rest of my equipment. It's like I got a mad scientist vibe going on here. You see, I've got my olive oil already pre-measured. And I have my coconut oil here pre-measured. When used in excess, coconut oil can be drying to the skin. So I chose the majority of my oils to be olive oil. So let's go ahead and mix those oils. Just gonna mix those oils up a little bit. Give it a nice little twirl. This is Queen's Purple Mica, and I got this from Brambleberry. It's totally awesome. So you can mix your colorant at the end if you want, or you can mix it now with just the oils before you add your lye solution. For this recipe, I wanted to do two colors. I wanted to do white and purple, and I don't know, for some reason I got distracted, so the only color that's in there right now is purple. Now the first thing you want to do is kind of, there we go, I don't know if you could see that, making the stick blender burn. I'm just lifting it up and down a little bit, because you don't want any air underneath that blender. So you can add your color at the end. This time I chose to do it at the beginning. It's not mixing as well as I thought it would, but oh well. So the next thing we're going to do is add our lye solution. Let me actually that off to the side. Trying to get this to burp again. Don't want any air bubbles. Burp it like a baby. Then we're going to do a combination of blending and stirring. I think that's much better. Yeah, you can't, I wish you could see it better on camera, but you can't see that there. So now, last but not least, we're gonna add our fragrance oil. You could have added the fragrance oil at the beginning or at the end. Some fragrance oils have a tendency to what they call accelerate trace, which means it speeds up the tracing process, so you're kind of rushing through making your soap. But fortunately, lavender is not one of those fragrance oils. Perfect. Now I can take this out. Let me see if I can get you guys a better view up close. See what I mean about trace? Do you see where it leaves like a trace? I don't know if you can see it. So now the soap is ready to be poured into the mold. This is the first time that I've used this recipe for these molds. So let's start pouring. It looks like this might fit in just one mold. Yeah. Anytime you change your oils or anything in your recipe, sometimes it'll yield, you know, a different quantity, a different size. So all of this fits in this mold. That's perfect. You can bang it a couple times on the counter to get rid of any bubbles that are inside. The bubbles that are on top, you can use alcohol just to spray the top, and that will get rid of those bubbles. And a thin layer of alcohol will also prevent soda ash. And I just want to, I don't know, see if I can make some designs at the top. You don't have to. If you want to leave the top flat, that's perfectly fine. Some people are absolute pros at this. Me, not so much. But nice little pretty texture top. I don't have lavender buds, but I got some little blue ones, and I hope that it would just maybe blend a little bit, just for decorations. So who has mastered their swirling technique? I have not yet. I have an idea of what I want my swirls to look like, but we want the heat to maintain inside of here so it dries or solidifies evenly. You can cover it with a towel, a piece of cardboard. Some people turn the oven on and then turn it off and then put the soap inside of there. And there you have it. Thank you again, everyone, for joining me. I wanted to try that lavender fragrance oil from Candle Science, and I also wanted to try that purple mica from Brambleberry. Anytime I try new colors or fragrance oils, I like to use my basic 4-ingredient recipe that I just showed you all. One, because it's very simple. Two, it's very cost effective. It only has coconut oil and olive oil, water, sodium hydroxide. So that's my go-to recipe for testing. So if you want, go ahead and give it a try. I will post a video and let you know how those soaps turned out. Please like and subscribe if you like the video. Please hit the notifications tab so you can be notified anytime I post new videos. Until next time, bye guys. Feel like I'm back in organic chemistry. Ooh, Lord. It's like I got a mad scientist vibe going on here. A
mad scientist vibe going on here.
Are you recording?
I'm recording because I can't. Where the hell your camera at? There you go, right there. A mad scientist vibe going up in here. You know what I'm saying? Don't forget these, baby.
Okay, class. Today we're talking electron configuration. SPDF. Can anybody tell me what that stands for? No?